So this is a setup of the board game Space Exodus. In Space Exodus, the Earth's resources have begun to dwindle, and humanity is looking to space for more resources. And each player controls one spaceship, shown by the room cards of the spaceship down here. And the goal of Space Exodus is to gain 3 red material tokens obtained by defeating the hardest enemies in the game, the red level enemies. And to do so, you will first have to battle the green and yellow level enemies to build up your ship and recruit new crew members to man your shields and weapons to be able to defeat the red enemies, the hardest ones. Shown here is a turn summary card for Space Exodus, and as you can see, the game has 3 phases each turn. First you have the startup phase, where basically you gain credits to or money to spend on event cards and new rooms for your ship. Then there's the event phase, in which you draw new event cards, and players may bid on the event cards to gain the benefits of them. And finally there's the encounter phase, where you draw an encounter card, which will show which enemies that you will be able to battle this turn. And in battling the enemies you will gain material tokens, the red ones, for ultimately to win the game. But before that, the green and yellow ones to upgrade your ship to be even stronger in fighting the enemies. And in the startup phase, you will get credits for your working server farms. So let's take a look at the starting ship of each player. Each ship will start with 4 different rooms. You may build new rooms by purchasing them for their building cost, shown up in the left corner. And you may build up to a total of 8 rooms, but you start with 4. The rooms that you start with are the housing room. This room provides housing for your crew, and you will place all your inactive crew members on this card. And the crew members are these blue little cubes, so each player also starts out with 1 crew member. And initially you should place your crew member on your low energy laser, one of the other starting rooms you have. It's a weapon with attack strength of 1, and the blue square here shows that you need 1 crew member for it to be working in combat. If you don't have a crew member available to put on this blue square, then you will not gain the benefit of 1 attack, or this weapon will not be working during combat. Finally, you have 2 medium server farms, which each gives you 2 credits per turn if they are working during the startup phase. And as you can see on the cards as well, you have the cost up here and the name of the card, but down here it says broken, upside down. During combat or during the event phase, sometimes your rooms will be broken or damaged. And when a room is broken or damaged, you will not gain the benefit, or it will not work in combat. So a damaged server farm won't give you credits each turn, and a damaged laser won't be able to be used will not be used in combat. And to show that a card is broken, you turn it upside down this way, so that it says broken on the top, on the correct side. And when you repair your card later on, you turn it back to this side to show that it's not broken anymore. Now it's fully functioning. And now let's take a closer look at the game board. During the startup phase each turn you will gain credits for your working server farms that you have in your ship. And then we move on to the event phase. In the event phase, we have the event deck here, and each turn we will draw 2 different event cards in a 3 or 4 player game. In a 5 or 6 player game we will draw 3 different event cards. But let's say we're playing a 3 or 4 player game, then we draw 2 event cards and place them on the first and second event card spaces on the game board. Here we have the new recruits card, which says gain 1 crew member, and we have the robot launch card, which says damage a room. Now, when the event cards has been drawn, the players will now bid to gain the benefits of these event cards. Only 1 player may gain the benefit from each card. So let's say that the blue player is the first player. And he wants to bid credits to gain the new recruits card. Well, maybe he wants to bid 2 credits. Then he places his player marker on the number 2 on the bidding track next to the card. If another player wants to outbid him, let's say the red player is next in turn, he says maybe, oh, I want to bid 4 credits for the new recruits card. Then places his marker on the 4. And blue now has to choose something else to bid on. Either the other card, outbid the red player on the card by bidding more than 4, or place his player marker down here on either the construction space or the bank space. The bank space will give you more credits, and the construction space allows you to upgrade your ship, repairing the rooms and or building one new or adding one new room to your ship. The rooms that you can add to your ship come in 3 different kinds of rooms. We have the lasers in the left column. We have attack strength 1, 2 and 3. We have the shields in this column, shield strength 1, 2 and 3. And we have the server farms, which give you credits each turn, 1, 2 and 3 credits each turn. There's also a special card called Strengthened Hull, which may be used to reinforce a room so that it may not be damaged during combat or during the event phase by a damage a room card. These are the rooms that you may get or that you can buy or get when you place your player marker on the construction space during the event phase. And the cost of the cards is shown on the upper left corner. This card, for example, costs 3 credits, and the cards in the first row cost only credits. The cards in the second row cost credits and 1 green materials token, which you will gain in the encounter phase by defeating a green level enemy. And the cards in the last column, the strongest cards, the strongest rooms, cost credits plus 1 yellow materials token, which means that you have to defeat a yellow enemy to buy one of these rooms. After the event phase for the turn is done, it's time for the final phase of the turn, the encounter phase. In the encounter phase, you draw 1 encounter card from the encounter deck for all the players, and this will show which enemy you may, or which kind of enemy you will be able to attack during this turn. This card shows the robot drones card, and it has 1 green level, 1 yellow level and 1 red level of the enemy. Each card has all 3 levels available. Each player will now secretly choose by choosing a card he has in his hand which level of enemy he wants to fight. You don't actually have to fight an enemy each turn if you don't want to, but you always can choose which level you want to. So you could head straight for the red enemy if you want to. You wouldn't be able to kill him during the first round, but you could try even if you wanted to. So by defeating the green level enemy, you will get a green materials token. The yellow would grant you a yellow materials token, and the red enemy will grant you a red materials token, which is used to win the game, because the objective of the game is to gain a total of 3 red materials tokens. And the combat is turn-based. You use these die. The white die is for the player when he attacks the enemy, and the black die is for when the enemy attacks you. So the enemy will attack you and then you will attack him, and you will decide if he's not dead yet, if you still want to continue the fight. And that's a basic overview of the combat. You can check out the rules at thegamecrafter.com on our store page if you want to know in depth how the combat works or anything else in the game works that I didn't cover here. This was a short introduction, hopefully not too long, of Space Exodus, the board game. The objective is, as I've said before, to build up your ship strength to be able to battle the hardest enemies in the galaxy in Space Exodus, to gain 3 red materials tokens. And the game is available now on thegamecrafter.com, and please comment if you have anything you want to ask.